So I did something this week and I was chit-chatting with AI. We're going back and forth, talking and having a good conversation. And some of you guys may like that AI. Some of you guys may not like that. But hey, let me know down in the comment section where you guys stand with that. But as for me, I was chit-chatting, and one of the first conversations that I asked it was, hey, I want you to rank the top 5 literal translations of the Bible, how smooth it reads, even though they're very literal, and the resources out there. And so it gave me the top 5. Y'all want to hear it? Let's go.
Sure, here's a revised list based on your criteria, ranked from best to 5th, along with 2 honorable mentions. 1. ESV, English Standard Version. Best balance of literal translation and readability with extensive resources. 2. NASB, New American Standard Bible. Highly literal with a strong tradition of study resources. 3. CSB, Christian Standard Bible. Good balance of literal translation and readability with plenty of resources. 4. NKJV, New King James Version. Literal and accessible with updated language and many resources. 5. BSB, Berean Standard Bible. Literal and clear with resources for various groups. Honorable mentions. NIV, New International Version. Highly readable and popular, though slightly less literal. NRSV, New Revised Standard Version. Good for formal equivalence and readability with many study resources. Does this work for your video?
So what do you guys think? Do you guys like that list? If you guys have your own list, let me know down in the comment section. I'm going to give you mine. Number 5, the Legacy Standard Bible. You guys can say, hey, whoa, why number 5, bro? It's the most literal translation. It is a very literal translation, but it's not as smooth. And there are plenty of resources out there, but again, it's not as smooth. And for me personally, this is my list. This is not a list based on everybody. My personal list. And I may be a lot slower than some of you guys. I'm just throwing it out there. As much as I've wanted to make the Legacy my primary translation, I love the elegance of it. But it's definitely not going to be my main translation. So it's number 5. Number 4, the CSB. Now the CSB, it's going to be the less literal out of the top 5 that I have, but it reads smooth. And I mentioned it in my previous video, my top 5 easy to read translation, where there's just something about it that, yes, it reads smooth, it's nice, it flows, but there's sometimes where it makes me feel like it's missing something. I have a friend, Pastor David. Shout out to you, my friend, Pastor David. He loves the CSB, guys. He loves the CSB. That's his number 1, but even he can admit that there are some areas where it's just like, oh, come on. You know what I mean? So there are plenty of resources out there, guys, for women, children, men, groups, stuff like that. Plenty of resources out there. Number 3, 2, and 1 were very difficult for me to rank, if I'm honest with you, but this is where I rank it. Number 3 would be the New King James. I love the fact that it uses the TR. I like the fact that the verses are in the text itself. I like the footnotes. The New King James has just great footnotes. For me personally, it doesn't read as smooth, and I get stuck a lot. Not just in one verse, but sometimes in entire sections where I'm just like, wait a minute, what's going on? And this is where I'm saying, me personally, I may be a lot slower than you guys to comprehend certain things, all right? And so it just read awkward to me. For me personally. Now, one of the best things about the New King James, though, is that it has not been updated since 1982. Maybe if they did do an update for slower people like me, I would kind of understand it. And some of you may throw jokes. Yeah, they did. It's called the MEV. You guys, stop, man. Stop. Anyways, yeah, the New King James, it's a great translation. It's got a lot of pros, man, a lot of pros. But for me personally, I get stuck a lot, and that's what I don't like. And so I'm ranking my top 5, based on those things, the resources, how smooth it can read, at least for me and in my opinion. Number 2, now this one was really hard for me. Number 2, why? Because I started off with this translation. Originally it was a Spanish Reina Valera 1960, which is equivalent to the New King James. But when I got my very, very first English translation, it was the NASB 95. Believe it or not, but to me, the NASB 95 for me reads smoother than the New King James. And I never understood all the bashing, all the hating on the NASB 95, that it sounds wooden. I don't even know what that sounds like or reads like. Malachi 2 verse 15. I understand the context, okay? I understand the context. But if you were to just read that one verse, and I know you're going to tell me, well, this is why you have to read the entire... No. If you were to just read that one verse in the NASB 95 or the Legacy or the NASB 2020, it throws you off. It reads awkwardly. If you read it in the New King James or the CSB, you will understand it. And even at that, the New King James, in my opinion, reads better than the CSB, that one verse. If anything, that's where I kind of understood better what it was trying to convey. Again, the New King James, for me, there's sections that I get lost. NASB, there are verses or phrases that kind of throw me off. But in totality, it reads for me smoother than the New King James. All right, so that's my number 2, and my number 1. You guys guessed it. It is the NIV. No. We're I know some of you were like, wait, what? Or some of you guys were like, yeah, the NIV. You know? I like the NIV. Don't get me wrong. I really do like the NIV. I was actually contemplating on making that my primary translation, just diving into that. You know what? Hey, it's a smooth translation, easy, blah, blah, blah. But no, guys, no. Here, my number 1 is the ESV, the English Standard Version. If anything, that was a translation that I started buying more and more, thinking that the more I bought, the more I'm going to fall in love with it. And over the years, I got proved wrong. You know, if anything, I started walking away from the ESV and just focused on the NASB and the New Living Translation. But the last 3 years, I've just thrown myself at the ESV, and I have found it beautiful. I have found it smoother than the New King James. I've come to love, man. If I'm honest with you, I've come to really appreciate its style. I really do like the ESV. If anything, I have made the ESV my number 1 translation, my primary translation, better yet. My primary translation. I started preaching out of it already at church and started teaching out of it. I started quoting more and more out of the ESV. Malachi 2 verse 15, I came to completely understand what it was talking about or what it meant through the ESV and then the New King James. There is so much resources out there for children, for men, for women, for couples and all that stuff. There are so much out there for you guys. And it reads, in my opinion, a lot smoother than the New King James and the NASB 95. Less smoother than the CSB and way smoother than the Legacy Standard Bible. But those are my top 5, guys. Those are my top 5. Let me know down in the comment section whether you agree. I'd love to read your top 5. If you guys have a top 5, let me know. If you guys have a top 1, you know what? Let me know down in the comment section. What are your top 5? With that being said, God bless you, and I'll see you in the comment section.